Hello!
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're here to talk about some films. It's Mr. Oliver Harper.
Hey, Stu, how you doing?
I'm wearing a hat because the light was too bright down on my head and it made everything go all rubbish. So, technicals.
I know, even with this image in the background, it's a nightmare to adjust the colour.
Oh, I know.
So.
And it's not even that relevant because most of these weren't left to me by my Uncle Derek at all.
Oh,
It's only actually these three on the end.
excellent.
The
Dollman
others
as
are
well.
just films I like. Yeah.
Marvellous.
So, we are going to talk about a couple of films. Now, you may remember in the before times, did a video ages ago where we talked about some films, some old VHS tapes, effectively, that were left to me by my Uncle Derek after he died. And we're going to be looking at a couple more of those, but we're mixing up the format a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like before we just kind of watched them at home, didn't we? And then we sort of came together to sort of talk about,
Yes.
basically provide like a mini review.
And explain them to each other.
Yeah, it was kind of, it's when you're kind of watching them not together, it's kind of a different experience. So this time we've kind of watched it like essentially kind of a watch party kind of thing, I suppose, and sort of we're a party of two, and and just sort of made some notes. And so I think it's a bit more of a sort of, I think an easier sort of way to sort of experience these films.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more fun to watch it with somebody else.
Yeah,
You get bored,
definitely.
not just on your own.
I watched some right stinkers last time, so this time it's not too bad because it's both not great, but at least I can get to enjoy the crap with Stuart. So
You had bloody Rollerblade 7, didn't you? The Zen film.
man, and that
Yes.
Viking film that I'd like.
Oh, The Norseman.
It was complete
I
disaster.
forgot about that.
Borefest, absolute
Oh,
borefest.
man,
It's
I
so
did-
factually incorrect and offensive, It's awful. Yeah.
I think I did Beauty of the Barbarian, which was very tedious. But The Fighter, or Jakku Sembung, I think it was called. That was quite good.
Yeah. You had a good one to watch.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Oh wait, I didn't even know what you were watching. It was just like a picture on the box. I was like,
Yeah.
looks all right.
Yeah, I picked that one, and you picked Rollerblade 7.
Oh, man.
You chose poorly.
Bad.
Poorly.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So, today's films, we'll start with number one, which was Dollman. Dollman.
Dollman.
From the mighty Full Moon Studios.
Yes. Fantastic cover on this. So it would entice any teenager to rent this.
I'm going to be mixing into little bits on the sofa while we're doing this. Because A, that's great for close-ups, and B, it means I can put it in the thumbnail so people might actually click on it. So nobody clicks on anything now unless there's a bloody sofa in it.
Algorithmic sofa. There you go.
So, Full Moon Productions, Charles Band was the man's name mostly behind it, I believe. He wrote this, as he did many of the films. They're mostly genre films, I think, from Full Moon, it's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also going to be horror or some sort of sci-fi movie that's often inspired by... sci-fi genre, it's going to be inspired by one, Blade Runner, or The Terminator. So that's kind of what you're getting with these kind of things. And with the novelty of Dollman is that you've got a character who is essentially really tiny.
Yes.
So, which they completely, as we'll go through in this review, but it sort of highlights they don't really have fun with the concept, or even execute it in a effective way.
That's the whole thing, isn't it? So the Mighty Dole Man, played by Tim Thomason or Tom Timerson?
Tom, I'm sure it's Tim.
think
It's all the Tims and the
Tim
Toms.
Thomason.
Yeah,
there
Tim.
we are.
Yeah.
Who's also in, I think there were Full Moon Productions, Trances, etc.
Yeah, he's worked with the director Albert Pyun a number of times. So he's also in Nemesis as well.
Of course, yes.
Sadly, not in Captain America.
Oh,
Or Cyborg, I don't think. Oh no, he might know. So I think maybe at the end he might be in Cyborg, but I don't think he is.
that's a shame for him. It could have been Van Damme along the rest of them. So, Jackie Earl Haley's in it. Nearly forgot to say, as sort of the villain.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good performance from him, even though he's sort of delivering sort of bad dialogue. But you think, oh my God, that's him. It's like I always kind of recognised him only from like Watchmen. I had not seen, or maybe Elm Street the remake, which was kind of everyone had to suffer through a number of years
I've not
back.
seen that and don't plan to.
But it was like I'd never seen him before until that. I was like, oh my God, he's done all this kind of loads of other movies in the past. That's got low budget kind of affair, which most actors do. They always kind of these crappy kind of B movies, and suddenly they're in these big films.
You've got to start somewhere.
You do, yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, he really does give him quite a good performance. Thomason, bless him, is just kind of doing a slightly clipped Dirty Harry impression for the whole thing.
Straight away, he's kind of trying to channel Clint Eastwood. Obviously Albert Pyun just go, just be Clint Eastwood,
Yeah, be more Clint.
Yeah.
Be more Clint, everyone. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like with all these kind of low budget kind of sci-fi genre pictures on, obviously Full Moon making stuff directly to VHS. So with these establishing shots you see in these movies, they're often just like okay, they look kind of cool straight away because it sort of sucks you in. You think, okay, this is going to be cool, and then it's always going to be like in particular, Dollman. You've got this city which looks a bit like Logan's Run, but like at night and all dusty and stuff. Same type of buildings. They're sort of the future. That was depicted in Thunderbirds to a certain degree. It's kind of roads and stuff. Like
and everything's lit like Blade Runner.
Yeah, pretty much. And then suddenly you got this great kind of shot, and suddenly, it's just this kind of bland corridor, and it just it takes for ages to sort of for him to the doll man or the agent, I suppose, to sort of turn up and do his thing.
It's not a great start, is it? So as basically it's supposed to be an alien planet.
Yeah,
the planet Arcturo, something like that.
I think so. Yeah,
I didn't write it down. That doesn't help. But as you say, amazing establishing shot of future cities and all that,
Yeah.
and then 2 seconds in, oh no, we're just seeing a corridor, and then they're in a laundromat.
Yeah,
for like ages,
for excessive amount of time, because he comes in to sort of play cool and pretends to do his laundry. Well, he's kind of pouring his powder in, and suddenly he's just like pulls his gun out and
kills the man who's hiding there. I can't remember what crime he'd committed, if we even knew.
Yeah,
actually, I don't even know if they tell you.
It's all at night time as well, and all the other police officers are there.
Space police officers.
Space police, yeah. And the guy says, "Take your glasses off. It's night time."
Yes.
I thought that was great because you're always seeing films people trying to be cool wearing shades, and it's like pitch black, like The Matrix. It's often the time you see him wearing shades. Too dark.
And that alien planet looks futuristic and cool in the establishing shots, is literally just an Earth laundromat. If this planet, Arcturus, somehow is exactly the same as Earth.
Yeah.
Same language, same laundromats, same everything.
It also doesn't help that we watched it in VHS. You can't really, you also got low resolution, it's darker image, so you couldn't really get a greater sense of sort of the extended design of some of these locations. Even his apartment is so dark, and the guy comes in and starts shooting at him, and he's like, and he like deactivates him or something, or like stuns him. Then he has to go see the boss. That guy with this kind of, he's blown all his body parts off. And all he's got is his kind of floating head.
This ex-nemesis of his, who basically our hero, whose name I can't remember, is really bugging me. What was it? Something like Bargo or something?
Oh, the hero. Sorry.
Yeah,
Bardo.
Brick
Bardo.
Brick Bardo. I thought it was Rick.
It's Brick.
Brick Bardo. Oh my god.
It's all about the
So that's what you call alien planets, Brick Bardo. So he has this gun which goes pew pew, but if it hits anything, it just basically makes entire people explode violently. It's kind of good.
Only on that planet where obviously the same.
Yes.
Because it doesn't happen later. Doesn't happen later.
We'll explain why, because that becomes apparent.
But when he shoots them, though, it's like boom, all these guts and stuff go over. I thought this is amazing. This is gonna be really good.
Didn't last, did it? Happened twice at the start, and that was it.
And we also thought like where they were, the location is kind of like derelict kind of buildings and stuff. I thought, is this the same like location as Nemesis, which Albert Pune would shoot the year later?
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar visually, if not the same place entirely. So yeah, he's got this amazing gun, which is, and I'll quote here, the only one in the universe. Where does he get it? How has he got the only gun like that in the universe? Where does he get the bullets for it? What?
It's only also like that's a silver pistol. That's what it is. And like the cartridge for it. So like it's longer than the handle.
Oh yeah.
But when he puts it in, it's kind of like it's flush.
Yes.
It's weird.
And basically, when he reloads it, it doesn't go all the way in, so he has to hide it from camera for a bit and then wait for the next shot.
Just hide this, you be like. It's so bizarre.
So yeah, he's up against his nemesis guy, who's literally just a head because he's blown the rest of him on a head on like a floating disc.
Yeah, which is I think was quite cool, like makeup design. I quite like that. It was quite if I saw that as a kid, I'd be like a bit like freaked out, it's a bit too gruesome. But
yeah, no, I quite like that. Was one of my favourite things in it. To be fair, he then gets in his flying saucer and flies off because he's got a bomb that can destroy an entire city or something.
Yeah.
The design of the bomb, by the way, it's a capacitor on a circuit board. It's just a single capacitor.
Not good.
An extra dimensional bomb capacitor, apparently. So he flies off and the Bardo guy like follows him in his own spaceship, doesn't he?
This is where we got slightly confused because it like either they went too fast or over like 88 miles an hour or something, and then went through created this kind of tunnel or like a warp.
They're all going, oh, my ship's going to blow up.
Yeah, like it's all like extreme close-ups and obviously to hide the cheapness or the sort of limited set. And suddenly they find themselves on Earth, and weirdly it has this kind of really extended montage of showing you essentially kind of New York, but it's kind of not New York. It's kind of, I think they apparently shot some of it in the Bronx or something.
It's supposed to be the South Bronx.
Yeah,
supposed to be.
But it's like it's like whip pans, crash zooms, people walking around, then cutting to another zoom. I felt a bit like nauseous watching it. It's gone on for too long.
It was amazing. It's like several minutes, this sequence, of establishing what the present day looks like. Yeah. We know, we live there. Yeah. Why are you spent no time establishing alien planet, but loads of time establishing where we live in real life. The film's got a lot of padding to it, and this is the first sort of example you see. It's also only about 78 minutes long.
Yeah, it must be like 50 minutes or something, you know.
It's amazing you get so much padding in such a short film. It's astonishing.
It's weird they didn't use any slow motion. Should use tons of it.
Oh, that'd been
great.
Or just got people to walk slowly and go to save money, yeah. I have seen that in a film. It was called Kill or Be Killed, if I remember. Anyway, the problem really is you've got the old thing of it's too expensive to do stuff in space. Oh, they've landed on present-day Earth and everything's cheaper.
Well, it just reminds you of Masters of the Universe.
Precisely.
It's like we're going to be on Eternia. Oh, it's great. It's Eternia. Suddenly, 10 minutes later, through the keyhole, and they're just like on Earth.
It's Masters of the Universe. It's Beastmaster 2. It's Galaxis. It's an awful lot of films where they just come to present-day America.
Yeah.
But, wait for it, they do have one interesting thing. For some reason, aliens on the planet Arcturus or whatever are 1/6 of the size of humans.
That's the twist.
Yeah,
that's the twist.
So when him and the alien head bloke end up here, they're only about 13 inches tall.
It's great. The idea of having this kind of hero who's like really small, sort of tackle these kind of basically these giants, is quite a cool concept. But they don't at all utilise the fun aspect of it all. It's like so many films back in the past where you had in like 50s the atomic things where giant spiders and so forth, and they always shot people with like they shot all the footage and they've got rear projected it and had people interact with it, so you don't have any sort of blue screen kind of matte lines anywhere.
Yeah, this
has like maybe 4 or 5 green or blue screen or green screen plates.
Yeah,
which has
very few
them interacting. That was about it,
and they ain't good.
No, and it's also the camera high or shooting low.
Yep. Exactly. So camera high, shooting low for Dollman. Camera low, shooting high for everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. And there's no props. There's no giant props. Only one thing we saw was a giant prop.
Yeah, I made a list actually. What was it? It was not a single giant prop except a bit of cloth and a bit of a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
So there isn't even like one massive Coke can or something to ground him and you know be interesting.
Well, exactly. It's like if those of you in the UK who watched like the Harry Enfield TV show, where he would play like a little boy and Kathy Boat would play his little sister. And they'd create this ginormous set for them to interact with. So you've got even like a BBC TV show, or even like Red Dwarf, who like shrunk down Lister to be RoboCop. Yeah. It's like he interacts with stuff, like the can and the curry sauce or whatever. So it's like, wait for me! He's so small. And they make his voice really high pitched.
Yes.
Dollman.
Yeah, Dollman just sounds normal.
And
also is apparently as loud as a standard-sized human. Yeah. Because everyone can hear him perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. But it's such a shame they don't do anything with the concept. He's never attacked by... He sees a rat at some point, but it just seems to be stock footage.
Yes.
There's a cockroach he shoots. Again, he doesn't really interact with it. That's it.
No, exactly. I sort of predicted that the movie would sort of cheapen out its locations because we sort of agreed that once they landed on Earth and we sort of saw this location, we was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like we've kind of seen this before, like I mentioned earlier with Nemesis, but would this be utilised later on? And it kind of was. The end battle would just go back there.
Yeah, it goes back exactly the same locations earlier.
So you've got like loads of B-roll of just shots of kind of like montage of New York, and then suddenly you've got a couple of locations they utilise, then they go back there. So you've kind of got this really small film.
I mean, he's in somebody's flat
for ages,
and then he's back to the wasteland that he crash landed in.
Yeah.
And when I say crash landed, they don't show any of that, do they? It cuts from them in space going, to just a wrecked old steel mill or something.
Yeah, well, it's kind of crappy miniature, really.
Yeah, and nothing, you don't see them crash, you don't see them land or anything. It just sort of slowly pans across.
Yeah.
It's quite jarring.
It's kind of weird, and then you've got this kind of weird thing, like the woman he meets, we sort of implied that she was a teacher, and suddenly she's working in this kind of
a toxic waste facility or something. What was that about?
It completely switches around. And then you've got this little kid in it, her son, and there apparently some sort of relation to the main bad guy in it.
Yeah, I think the son's father, who's dead,
I was friends with him,
was some sort of gangster type or gang member and was friends with Jackie Earle Haley's character. I think I might be making some of that up slightly because that's just the assumption I'm making based on what was shown. I don't think it's made explicit.
Yeah, it's a coherent story, but it's very sort of...
It's very slight, isn't it?
Very slight, really a bit boring.
But basically, bloke comes down in spaceship. There's evil bloke as well. Evil bloke goes off and gets picked up by some gang members. Yeah. The gang members, spoilers, then kill the evil space alien really early on.
Yeah,
and take the bomb.
That was a good switcheroo. I didn't mind that because they like literally just squash him with their hand, and it's pretty gross. Like the bits left, and we're like, what the hell? Because he just literally kills him. And goes, oh, I'll be in charge. Like you know, this little thing, you know,
not happening.
Exactly.
Well, literally, that's actually how they do it, isn't it?
It's
and Dollman is found by the lady who might be a teacher or might be somebody who deals with toxic waste or maybe both. We genuinely don't know. And he stays in her apartment for a bit, and then they come to try and kill him. So he goes off to the smashed up steel mill to kill them, and the film ends.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. It's actually a kind of weird thing because like the cover's so cool, and like I've seen some of the images, and you see like the trailer where it's kind of cut quite well, where you think, oh, okay, this kind of looks kind of like action-packed sci-fi. There isn't really that much action in it to a certain degree.
Very little happens. Full stop.
And when it does happen, he's just like just shoots the dudes and just he does kind of blood squibs.
Yeah, because of course his mega super bloody body exploder gun still is effective on humans at full size, but it just like blows a hole in them.
Well, it's convenience of the plot where it blows the bloke's arm off at the end.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay,
that's true.
Was he a bit shorter? I don't know.
Had a really skinny bit of his arm holding it on. Yeah.
It had a pretty good opening sort of theme tune to it all. But
there wasn't much of a soundtrack throughout it, though.
No, it's sort of very sparse. And then it had this kind of... Okay, the weird thing, it makes the film so tonally strange. It's at the end of the film, when it rolls the credits, it just shows you montages of that actor, then it shows you their credit, and so forth. So it felt like a TV show, with this kind of upbeat kind of music.
And it ends really abruptly. It's like there's a short bit of dialogue and then suddenly smash cut into...
Doesn't he say
TV
something about size not being a problem or something?
Tell me size doesn't matter or something.
Yeah,
he wants to have a romantic
relationship
relationship. Despite the fact she's 6 times his size physically.
Yeah, she'd just be squishing.
Yeah, just hits him with a mallet. That's why they had to cut at the end.
But there was a sequel, wasn't there?
There is. I'm not sure of the entire Dollman franchise, but there is a Dollman versus Demonic Toys. Demonic Toys being another franchise from Full Moon about like an evil Jack in the Box.
Is there a crossover with Trancers? Or is it,
not
or
that I'm
the
aware
same
of.
actor?
Yes, the same actor.
Right.
That would be very hard, that, because he's Jack Death, I think, in Trancers. Trancers, they end up going back in time for 2 of the films or something, if I remember. I can't remember. But it basically is one of these films where they had this interesting, at least very high-level idea. You've got a very dull narrative, and they don't do a lot with it visually or story-wise.
It's like they didn't have the money to do the sort of like portraying Dollman in this kind of like ginormous world to him. It's like they didn't create anything to him for him to interact with or use. So you're just kind of seeing camera shots, looking up, looking down. It's just like It's frustrating because it's a cool idea that's kind of poorly executed, and it's a shame because I do like some of the Albert Pyun's movies. Well, I think when it comes to action and sort of martial arts thrown in, he's always quite good at that. But you know, his films are often like are mostly kind of bad, but they're kind of good bad. You know, they're kind of enjoyable still. But this one was just kind of, it wasn't bad good. It was just had a few laugh out loud moments where people explode and stuff.
Yes,
that was great.
But basically, the explosion people at the start were great, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Because me and Stuart was like, we see these bodies explode. It's like, this is going to be amazing. And suddenly it just goes, as soon as it goes to Earth, it's like,
which you do kind of expect, but you thought with this extra element of, he's really small, you can, derive quite a lot of comedy and situations from that, but just nothing. He sits in his spaceship for most of it.
He does. In
fact, for nearly all of it.
He spends a lot of the time lounging around.
Yeah.
You know.
And being just really rude and
gruff.
Yeah, Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry, yeah. He shrunk down Clint Eastwood. You know what I mean?
Tiny Clint Eastwood. It's what the world needed.
I think the film should be called Dull Man. That's what the whole film sums up. The film as very dull.
Yeah.
So,
it was a disappointment. I've just realised something. I always had in my head the thought that Demonic Toys franchise was a rip-off of Puppet Master, yeah?
That's what I thought when we saw the trailer. It was on, it was on before the video.
And there is actually a Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, I think. Because they're both Full Moon.
Oh, right.
I've just realised in my head, it's not a rip-off of it, it's the same bloody company.
Same universe. That's what it is. It's, because I said to Stuart watching it, I thought, like, Full Moon are just nowhere near as good as Canon films, because Canon had a lot of bad films, and Full Moon, I don't know any that are actually particularly great. But
some of the Lovecraft stuff they did is right.
It's all right.
But you're not getting the high-end Canon stuff by any stretch of the imagination.
You're not getting the Life Force. You're not getting the. I mean, American Ninja's a bit silly. But try to think other ones that would be kind of like a genre piece that is kind of over the top outside of Life Force. I think, hey, it's no Masters of the Universe, put it that way.
Yeah.
So
that's a pretty damning indictment, really.
How dare you? As I was mentioning earlier about sort of Albert Pyun being quite good at action, there's one sequence which is kind of, it's, you haven't seen much of Dollman sort of as a small person, right? So,
I know where you're going.
So you don't really see much of him doing things. So it's always just like you're just shooting the actor, right? So when you're seeing him from their perspective, there's a great sequence where the bad guys are outside the woman's house and he jumps through the window. But when he jumps through the window, there's a quick shot of him. It looks like an action man. They've put a black coat on and just gone, right, just threw him out.
They've just hossed one of the 12-inch G.I. Joe figures through a window. It's great.
And he jumps in the car and they literally is holding on the side of the car.
Yes,
it's literally like seeing that Darth Vader like holding on the side of his car, like a Hot Toys figure holding on. It's like, I love that, But it's probably the most fun moment they have with him at his small size, sort of doing something.
I think it's the only time they use a model even, is it?
I think...
you did see some bad legs of a model at one stage when he was sitting down.
That was good. It's like a Ken figure with like shoes on him, isn't it? And then later on, he shoots one of the bad guys and he wakes up or something, and then he sees him from a distance, and you see
that was
a little man there. But that was it. It's like, man.
I mean, the thing is, maybe they wanted to avoid that kind of thing because it doesn't look that good. Yeah, but it still didn't look that good. At least have fun with it.
But it's just seeing that quick shot. It's like the best bit in the film. It's like, yes. But other than that, that was.
And of course, let's not forget the amazing extra-dimensional single capacitor bomb, which can destroy an entire city and throw it into another dimension or something. Yeah. When it finally goes off at the end, after being bigged up into like this massive, almost world-ending thing, it just destroys a small ruined building.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think it even destroys the building; it just blows up inside it. Because apparently, when it's reduced to a sixth of its size, it's exponentially weaker or something. Not that's in the plot.
You just see like a white flash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from a couple of like rooms or something. But it should have gone one step further with it. How useless it was going to be. This goes off just be like a little.
Yeah.
Fart.
Guess that doesn't work so well.
Like, never mind.
Also, I've just realised the teacher stroke hazard cleanup lady, whoever she was, gets to run away from it quick enough. But
Dollman.
Yeah, Bardo himself runs.
He'd be out of breath in like a meter, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
so small.
He runs and keeps up with her, despite the fact his legs are a sixth of the legs.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I've no idea. The convenience of the plot, basically. He's got to survive. And then she sees him from a distance. She's like, and he's just like waving. It's like Top Gun, sort of the lighting. You know what I mean?
One way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So overall, this is a film I would love to see remade.
Yeah, definitely.
Even with just a little bit of budget, or perhaps just more imagination.
Yeah, definitely. Great concept, badly executed. That sort of movie, you want to remake.
And
don't remake like The Thing and shit.
Stop remaking things that were good. You make something that didn't work. Well, it doesn't bring in the audience then, I suppose, does it?
You have to rename it, though. You couldn't call it Dollman.
No, you call it Tiny Cop from Space. Tiny Space Cop.
Tiny Space Cop.
Not Tony Space Cop.
Oh, that was it. Another bit earlier on, right? When they meet the bad guys, the guy with the floating head.
Yeah.
Didn't they try and extort space?
Oh my God, I made a note of this. You're absolutely right. Yes. One of the...
his crime sheet.
One of the crimes that his nemesis committed was space extortion.
What does that mean?
It's extortion, but you do it in space. He flew off the planet, did some extortion and came back down.
Get a big neck, got a bit of space. Give me that. Right, I'm holding this. Get the space in the bag, quick.
The joys.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Do you want to see we'll give it a rating?
Shall we give it a rating? Yes.
Out of
let's give it
Stewart's. A rating out of sort of onions or something? I don't know.
Rating it. How many dolls?
How many dolls? How many dolls out of 5?
How many dolls out of 5 would we give this film?
I'd give it a 2 because 2 out of 5 because I think the concept's good. I like a bit of the music. There's a bit of violence, but yeah, it couldn't pass over 2 because it it completely fails on what it's trying to sell.
It's just not entertaining.
No,
and that's not good for anything. I might even knock down to 1.5. No, let's not do halves. I'll go 2 as well, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because 1, it's not completely dreadful, so you can't really go for 1. But anything above 2 would be way overselling it. I think it's not a good time.
Yeah. It's another full moon production that it's sold and it's kind of cool idea, great poster, and it just doesn't deliver. And it's like a lot of these kind of B movies that we sort of kind of vaguely remember when we saw when we were younger or in the VHS shop. Think, oh, that's great, that's gonna be awesome. You watch it, think, completely doesn't live up to its potential. I'll just go watch the Terminator instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Go watch Aliens again. Yeah.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's another case of the old curse of Charles Band. I think full moon but half-assed.
It's a half moon.
And now the second film, Shogun Fighting Tiger, or maybe just Fighting Tiger from a company called Shogun. We're not sure.
This is complete screw up. This isn't it?
This is the most despicable VHS cover in history, right? So the film is apparently actually called Tiger Fighting, not Fighting Tiger.
Yep.
But it's also known as Magnum Killers.
Yes,
I think was
that's
the main
correct.
title.
Yep.
And right, let's have a look at the cover again. Right, look at this. There are no ninjas in this film at all. Not a single ninja. And the picture on the back is not from this film. There is nothing like that in this film whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever like that.
Infuriating. It just, again, it's like the days when if you grew up in the 80s and you saw a Spectrum game, Amstrad, Commodore 64, even an Amiga, you'd see the great cover that would entice you. This game looks amazing. You take it home, it's complete crap, and it doesn't look like nothing on the back either.
The back
gutted.
is the worst bit for me. This is the old case of screenshots from arcade version. It has nothing to do with it. So I'm going to read what it says on the back this is about. I'll warn you, it's full of lies. In a land where human life is of secondary value and violent death is the norm, there came a body of men known as the Fighting Tigers, men whose bravery is unsurpassed, their story which will live in folklore for eons to come, their chivalry a shining shield in a land of corruption. And in answer to those pathetic fools who tell us to turn the other cheek, one must meet violence with violence. Apparently this was in association with Warner Home Video, who apparently didn't mind their lies. That synopsis bears no resemblance to the film. There is no body of men known as the Fighting Tigers.
Nope.
There's no body of men in the film. There's just some bloke, a hero. Yeah. Called, I believe, I wrote it down, Pang Danang. Pang Danang.
I thought, when you see the opening titles, I thought the names were sort of piss take.
Yes.
I think that's kind of bad translation, or it's just like, it just sounds
funny. Or they
funny.
just coincidentally have amusing names. Yeah. I can't. Oh God, what was the name of the first one? Thin White Duke or something? No, that's David Bowie.
Yeah, it will pop up on screen. It's gold.
I can't remember the other news. The hero had a name like Tommy Methane.
Tommy Methane. Yeah, it was weird.
Samo who Methane? Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Let's not guess at it. We'll just get it wrong. Yeah, but oh dear.
So plot-wise, weird thing about this. As soon as it starts, you realise that it's it's a dubbed kind of Taiwanese movie, right?
Yep. Very dubbed.
And
very, very dubbed.
I thought, okay, we're in this sort of, it could just be just a martial arts movie, and it does have martial arts in it, but they're so
loosely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all been pan and scanned as well, so it's not. It's very old VHS tape, isn't it? So,
I disagree. I don't think it's been pan and scanned because that gives them too much credit.
It's just been scanned.
Yeah, it's literally basically it's quite a widescreen film. I'm presuming cinematic ratio.
Probably, yeah.
And they've just cut the sides off, so you get sequences of people talking, and you just see like a nose.
Oh, someone walks off frame.
Yeah,
Ages.
And is still talking, and the frame is empty.
Who is this person? It's like, I don't know. The whole film introduces people.
Oh,
no introduction. It's just like...
I've never seen a film that's so incoherent on this front. So it's just, there's people talking and they go somewhere and then there's more characters introduced and then there's more characters introduced, then there's more characters introduced, then there's a bit of a fight, then they introduce more characters, then everyone dies and then it ends.
The fight scenes, it's like watching your mates like choreograph a scene and place like at school, right? You've watched Ninja Turtles or you've watched some kung fu movie and you go, right, let's recreate this, and then you do it half-assedly because you don't know what you're doing. So it's just like loads of times people just flaying around, their legs and arms are swinging, and it was just like some of it's like extreme close-ups. I'm like, what did I just see? I didn't see any. Was that a kick?
Oh, I don't think the horrible cropping helps, but those action scenes are just shot so tight that you can't tell what's going on. It's almost like a sort of close-up on their head when you're like, well, what are they doing with their arms? What's going on?
Also, like, the plot-wise, right, obviously people want to know what the plot is, but I don't understand what happened.
Right. 2 pages of notes trying to work out the plot. So, a guy... has his brother is ripped off in a card game, apparently. So he beats somebody up and steals the money. He then goes to speak to the head of the casino, who says, I tell you what, if you go to prison for this and you seek out a guy called Tom and arrange with him to meet King Cobra, then I'll give you loads of money. And he's like, yeah, all right then. Yeah, good. I'm down for some of that. And he goes to prison. And then afterwards, for like almost the rest of the film, the prison guard apparently leaves his job and just follows him around. It's really weird.
We don't know how long he's in prison for either. Like,
it feels like a day.
Yeah.
But he finds this Tom bloke who's immediately murdered. But he has a letter of introduction for King Cobra. Then he doesn't know what to do with it. So then they end up somewhere else. He goes to a cafe thing, and like there's some old rich guy there. He's like, I like you. And then he violently beats up some thugs, really quite viciously. And the guy goes, that's great. I want you to be a foreman in my mine. What? How is that how mines recruit foremen? They just sit in cafes waiting for somebody violent to come along. Like, how does this work? Like, so what happens? He has a long, insane chase down a hill, and they end up in a load of water near a dam. That was quite cool. It reminded me of the...
Didn't even make, like, they had this awesome, like, shot. Like, we got, like, the dam behind them.
This.
They could have had a great fight scene, but they don't utilise it. Just run up the side of the hill.
Yeah,
you know,
and for ages they're running down the hill.
For ages. It's like Monty Python. Yeah, it was. I was just sitting there going,
Lancelot running towards camera in Holy Grail. Exactly. Yeah. Then they're in the water for ages. It was like when in Family Guy when Peter fights the giant chicken.
Oh man, I was hoping they'd get out of the water and go up the hill, roll up. You know, and so there's a helicopter, and then the ninjas are there, but they weren't.
There's no ninjas. There's no helicopters.
No ninjas.
It lied to us. So there's a big fight. I can't remember what that was about because all the scenes are weirdly overlong and just suddenly cut to other ones. And there's no explanation. Then his brother gets kidnapped by like some gangster lady. And then he has to go and find another guy for the gangster lady because she wants revenge for her parents' murder. But then the guy she's looking for attacks her anyway, so he doesn't have to go anywhere. I wasn't sure of this bit. Then the casino boss now has his brother. And he's like stolen him from the gangster lady. And Pang has to find this guy called Wang Pu. But Wang Pu does also appear to be King Cobra. They seem to be the same person.
I keep switching around.
That's his name, I think, maybe. I'm not entirely sure.
So, like, they always kind of said, like, kung fu movies, it's like a porno, right? The porno's got...
a certain number of scenes.
Number of scenes with, like, little dialogue, right?
Yeah.
But for those scenes, not the dialogue. Kung fu movie, you're there for the action and not really the dialogue. So with this film, they have too much dialogue and not enough action, and the action's kind of subpar.
The dialogue, it's like endless and meandering dialogue. I don't think it's a proper translation of the original, surely.
So much waffle. No, I just think it was like, you know, they just kind of half-assed, kind of either made up the story or didn't have someone who could really translate it properly and just kind of made it up on the spot or like over a weekend.
Also, all the voices seem to be done by the same man, and all the women voices by the same women.
Wouldn't surprise me. And every bad guy, like every kung fu movie, constant laughing. What's so funny? It's like, did I miss the joke? You know?
Yes, I think we missed everything.
Oh,
frankly,
God.
By the way it was presented. They did sound suspiciously similar to the guy who used to dub Godfrey Ho films as well. So
really?
I don't know if it's the same guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It would surprise me.
Yeah, oh God. So they find King Cobra, who's an old guy with a stick with a cobra on it, because he has to keep super secret, so he walks everywhere with a stick advertising who he is. And we've seen him before. He was like on a roof and fell off and hit some people with a stick.
Oh, that's right, yeah. He kicked really high, actually, for an old geezer. Yeah, it's like, wow, he's pretty flexible.
And he just appeared in a scene out of nowhere, and apparently he was King Cobra, but now he lives in a cave. Or something. I know, then more new characters appear. Now there's a royal princess they've got to find who has some crown jewels, but the jewels are worthless. They want the box they're in, but the box is...
I want the packaging.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not mint on card. Yeah, but the packaging is only useful because that's got a list of insurgents in it or something, and only King Cobra knows where the princess is. There's a character called Ken UC.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Ken UC.
They're trolling the people.
Yeah, that's a deliberate gag.
Yeah.
There's some random gunfights. Then it turns out that actually. Well, the King Cobra and the lady gang leader are killed after she kidnaps King Cobra and tortures him because killing her parents or something. And it turns out that the lady gang leader's sister, who's sort of a minor character, is actually the princess. And then everyone gets on the baddie's boat at the end, the casino guy, and then the baddies just shoot each other on the boat.
God. Are you following this, people?
Yeah. Why do the baddies shoot each other as well? That was the most bizarre thing.
That was a bizarre shootout.
Oh, God.
I went tits up.
Yeah.
Complete tits up.
That was an experience. That's the best I could make of the plot. Anyway.
I mean, it's better than the synopsis on IMDb, which took us a while to find.
Yeah, it did take us... We had to basically look up the names of the people in it and work out what the film was.
Yeah. It's just like, if you put in the name of that film, it's Magnum Killers.
Yeah, Magnum Killers. If you particularly want to watch this, don't.
What does that even mean? What are Magnum Killers? It's like, either go around killing ice cream magnums, or they're literally like destroying Magnum guns.
They've got a big champagne bottle full of killers. I mean, fighting tiger or tiger fighting makes more sense because there is some fighting, and maybe he's like a tiger.
He's a tiger.
Yeah,
I suppose.
They
could have called it King Cobra.
Yes,
there you go.
King Cobra would have been a much better title.
Yeah, or Cobra fighting.
Yeah, and certainly not putting completely false bloody things on the box.
That's like the last ninja on the Commodore or something. You're like, oh,
yeah. And it's shiny.
It's like those old stickers you have as a kid.
Yeah.
Like Panini, whatever it was.
See, they were really selling that on the VHS cover, which is a lie.
Oh, even the sticker on the video.
I didn't realise the sticker on the video
stickers
shiny.
on the VHS is kind of reflected as well.
That's pretty.
That's effort there. That. But yeah.
Peter, there's no effort in the film. How did that get an 18 rating, by the way?
Oof,
Nothing happens in it.
Borderline, be 12, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If that even.
If that,
I don't really...
E for educational.
C for crap. Exempt from
crap.
B for badly dubbed.
Or A for avoid. There you go.
Yeah. But I mean, I was quite excited to watch it because it's going to be 80s ninja nonsense. Could be fun.
That's what I thought.
There's nothing like that at all. Just total false advertising.
Yeah, that is a serious rebadging. You know what I mean? What's what we're rebadging? No, it's not rebadging, is it?
Just mis-selling.
Mis-selling, yeah. False advertising.
Mis-selling.
Yeah. You should have had like US gold on there or something. You know what I mean?
This could have been the $2.99 re-release. Yeah, that'd been better. Of a different
Hollywood
game.
collection as Shogun.
Oh, my God.
It's not Shogun.
Do you know, the only bit in it which really surprised me going through was when the hero has his crappy cheap motorbike and somehow it can produce a smoke screen.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, that was like something out of Batman.
Yeah, loads of big smoke.
Smashing through the fence.
He crashes into a fence. It does not look safe.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they were meant to do that.
No.
I presume so. I mean, they framed it, but you know.
Oh.
Or did they frame it? It's hard to tell with that.
There was no, even when it comes to fighting, it's just like I mentioned earlier, it's just a complete shit show of like, just like, you know, arms and legs flailing around. There's no sort of like cool blocking and stuff, apparent technique. None of that.
It's just people flailing like a playground fight.
Yeah, it's just literally like cameras rolling, fight, go! It's just
the plot makes no sense. It keeps introducing characters right up to the last minute. You don't care about anything because you don't understand anything. And it was not a good time. I imagine if you could find the original language version of that, which I presume doesn't exist anymore. But
probably not, no.
I'd like to know if somebody could just translate that properly, or at least give us a synopsis of what the film's actually about.
Yeah, because that's not been.
I can't believe that they shot it being that incoherent with so many characters.
Yeah,
Mind you, having said that, there are always new actors coming in.
Oh, even by the end, I was like, if they introduce a new character, we're fast forwarding. I'm sick of this.
And they did.
fucking do?
Just suddenly, I'm so-and-so, and this is my brother. And
They have a bloody shootout, and they have like a western bit where they're shooting with guns,
Yeah.
and all the gun sound effects are from like a John Wayne movie.
Oh, yes.
A ricochet sound.
Cheaper that way.
You know, it's just like.
Oh.
Also, like some of the bizarre edits, you always have these in crap movies, right, where they're talking away. Suddenly, just as a hard cut.
Oh, yeah.
Straight through the dialogue.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
literally somebody's saying, yes, and then we must see my brother fit. And it's just gone. That only happens a couple of times, to be fair, but it does happen.
Oh, man. Yeah, don't watch it. Well, if you find that, well, you know, on floating online, don't watch it.
No,
You know,
that was
And it's
massive.
There's going to be some bizarre, like, boutique label out there, probably in America, you know, they'd be like, we're going to release this in 4K. Don't buy it. It's awful.
Yes, I can't see that. Oh, you never know. You never know.
One of our friends will buy it, wouldn't he? You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yes, oh, definitely.
Look what I've got, Oliver. It's like 5 discs. You're like, no! In the bin. Get yourself in the bin as well.
Oh, dear. So, yeah, badly dubbed nonsense. Incoherent, dull, weird. Well, actually, weird. Actually, I would say the weirdness of it is one of the few positive points. At least that engages your intention a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Highly recommended.
Yeah, but most of it, incredibly dull.
Yeah,
incredibly
bad.
dull.
What's next on the list then for the next one?
Well, still got quite a few tapes to go. I mean, if you look at this thing behind us, this is a total lie, because most of those aren't from Uncle Derek at all. In fact, it's just these 3 on the end. So we did try to watch Night of the Juggler first, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
But the tape had terrible rolling and was unwatchable.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to find another copy of that to actually do that one. But don't expect any of those other films. They're just there for show.
What about this one? Death.
Death Stalker.
Stalker
No, Uncle Derek didn't have that. No, we've got to keep it pure to the memory of Derek.
It's like Golden Axe 2.
The front looks even more like Golden Axe
Amazing.
2.
Great cover. But it's doing that. It's doing it again. It's enticing movie. It's a great cover.
Yeah.
But it's awful.
Death Stalker 2 is a lot of fun, though. It's very tongue-in-cheek.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's fine. But we're not watching that, so something else.
I'd love to know what Uncle Derek made of Fighting Tigers. Do you think he enjoyed it? I can't imagine he did.
I think he probably turned off after 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is
Or maybe he
very likely.
waited around for some sort of, you know,
Yeah.
it's not action, it's going to be something
Maybe got
else.
bored.
It doesn't turn up.
Did something else in the background.
Yeah.
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 Oh, dearie me. Well, let's rate it. Well, we know it's rated 0 out of 5 ninjas because there aren't any.
God, yeah. At Cobras?
Out of Cobras, out of new characters.
New characters, yeah. -5. God, it's that bad. Is it as bad as Rollerblade 7? Probably not. No, I don't know if I'd watch either one again, even if I'd like got paid to do it.
Oh, Rollerblade 7 that's a bit special on that front, isn't it? My God.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I give that 1 out of 5 new characters. 1 out of 5.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because it's not completely unwatchable or anything. I mean, it is actually like a film, and there is a narrative. It just is incoherent, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So basically,
It's an incoherent dub.
yeah, incoherent dub, and probably an incoherent original. The more I think about it,
Yeah. If it's some sort of bizarre remake of a Shakespearean play or something. You know. Oh my
this is a
God.
metaphor for my life as a
It's
child.
Richard III.
Instead, I give it Richard 1 out of 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much more you can say to that, really.
There's nothing you can say to that. No.
No. Oh dear. All I wanted was one ninja, Oliver. Just one ninja would have
Yeah,
been enough.
nothing. There's no. It's not even a sword.
You know what we've got to do now?
What's it?
Go off and Google that image and see if we can find what it's actually from.
That'd be a good idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just scan that.
Tell you what, we'll hard cut to our results.
Subscribe for more.